flip the switch. Here we go. Good evening and welcome to the 5th edition of the Protect Alberta's Rockies and Headwaters concert series. Welcome. All right, let's start off with, as usual, with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the traditional land on which Albertans reside today is in Treaty 6 and 7 territory. We would like to thank the diverse Indigenous peoples whose ancestors' footsteps have marked this territory for centuries, such as the Cree, the Dene, the Anishinaabe, Saulteaux, the Isga, Nakota Sioux, and the Niitsitapi, as well as the Siksika, the Kainai, the Piikani, the Stoney Nakoda, and the Tsuut'ina. We also acknowledge that this is as the Métis homeland and the home of the largest concentration of Inuit and Dene south of the 60th parallel. It is a welcoming place for all peoples who come from around the world to share Alberta as a home. Together, we call upon all of our collective honored traditions and spirits to work in building a great province for today and for future generations. Okay, with that, let me welcome back Laura Lang from the Pekitsko Group. We've switched our funding back for this show to the Pekitsko Group because we'd met their target before. We'll meet it again, but they've decided to commission a couple of studies to help the government make the right decision. So Laura can talk to that.
Great, thanks Jeremy and Wendy. Well, we're really thrilled and grateful to be back. We're in the middle of calving, so excuse the attire. It's a little windy and nasty out there, so there's nothing like that to bring on a bunch of calves here at Plateau. We're really thankful for the support, not only financially, but for everybody that's reached out. These are heavy days, and just want you to know that all the emails and things that we receive really help us. It can be really heavy, as we all know. So thank you so much for that. I'm excited, and we're so lucky to have Mandy Alsgaard here tonight. She is part of a research study that we've engaged her to do. Mandy is a former toxicologist and representative AER, which she'll be able to explain a lot better than I will. But we're thrilled, not only Pekitsko, but we're working in 2 independent research studies, both also collaboratively with the Livingston Landowners Group, who we have been working as peers since the beginning as well. So that study is going to be led by Brad Stelfox of Alsis Group that will look at water quality and quantity and allocation. And Mandy will talk about I'll let her talk more about what research we're hoping to find. As some of you have known that have followed our Save the Mountains campaigning, we spent a lot of time in Elk River to realize the actual impacts on the people, the ranchers, landowners in that area, and we've been talking about those, but we wanted to be able to put some science behind what open pit coal mining and surface mining and those effects and impacts will have on the communities and surrounding communities on both human and animal health. And those implications. So we're hoping some of that research will help us should we have to further defend the mountains from potential coal mining developments. And I can let Mandy speak to that. So I won't take up any more of your time other than to extend our great gratitude for the support. We really appreciate it. And the music as well has been a highlight for us. Sometimes we watch a little bit later out in the tractor or whatever, but we want you to all know that as musicians too, we really appreciate all the support you've given in these concerts. And they've been a bit of a light, I'm sure, not just for ourselves, but for a lot of people as we work through the pandemic at this same time. So take care, everyone, and stay safe. And we'll see you on the trails, hopefully, in the summer. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Laura. Yeah, I just wanted to note, like, there's so much going on, so much information, and so many places to find it. There's a new petition that we started at the Grosvenor specifically for the UCP because of their Bill 51. You can find that if you go to www.coalsnotcool.ca or coalsnotcool.com. I got them both. And on that page, there's a link down at the bottom that says, what else can I do? If you follow that link to the next page, there's links to the Nitchatapi, there's links to the Pekisco group, there's links to the Livingston Landowners group, there's petitions, there's, as always, email a politician every day at any level of government and tell them you don't want these mines to go ahead. So that's at coalsnotcool.ca. We'll put a link to that in the chat when we can get in there, and we'll put a link to the GoFundMe for the Pekisco group, which is where the funding goes today. And with that, I'll throw it over to Mandy.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I'm just really honored to have been chosen to lead this study for the landowners and the Pekisco group. It's a bit of a unique undertaking, really. There's no external funding available from the federal or provincial governments to support this. And it really came out of a result of there being limited air quality monitoring in the region. So we don't understand the baseline condition other than it's a fairly pristine environment with respect to water and air quality. And with the first mine application, the Grassy Mountain mine, there was a lot of issues around the air quality modeling and the human and environmental health risk assessments that were done. Dr. Alan Garbutt gave a presentation through SACPA, the Southern Alberta Council on Public Affairs, talking about some of those limitations. And so this air quality study and the risk assessment will really address those limitations specific to that mine, but also from the 6 proposed mines in the region. So we'll look at, how the winds blow and how fast they blow. We'll piece together what the coal mine operations could look like from those 6 mines. And then from that, we're going to try and, we're not going to try, we're going to predict what the concentrations of certain contaminants will look like in the air and how far they'll be transported. And then when humans are exposed to those, we inhale some of the mine dust or some of the gases, what could be the potential human health effects. When the dusts are deposited onto the land that cattle graze on, we'll try and understand if contaminants can move from those soils through the plants into the livestock and the wildlife, and same with the water bodies, because there will be deposition of coal dust into these water bodies. And so this study is really going to address a lot of those gaps and the cumulative effects that could potentially come from 6 mines, which would be comparable to the Elk Valley, if not more. And we know that we're seeing air quality impacts in that region. We know we're seeing water quality impacts. So I just want to say thank you all for coming and listening to this great music and hopefully supporting this study. As Laura said, it's going to be independent research that we're hoping will be peer reviewed and really torn apart, right? It's supposed to stand up. And we want the government to use it to inform their decision making. We want the regulator to use it. Many of us see this as the regulator's job to understand cumulative impacts, and it shouldn't be on landowners and ranchers who have careers already. So again, I'm just really honored to support this study, and I'm looking forward to publishing the results and communicating it to everyone in the region and the government and the regulator and industry, so we can all work together from independent research. Oh, and I will just mention, I'll be giving a talk on May 20th through SACPA. So if you look on their website, they have a really good series of talks happening every Thursday. So again, that's the Southern Alberta Council of Public Affairs. And I'll be doing, it's an actual case study of one of the operating mines, the Cheviot Cardinal River coal mine. So it'll move through the application. So what impacts to the environment and human health did they predict in their application? And then move through monitoring data and what we're actually seeing for impacts, so we can get an idea of how the regulation of coal mines looks in Alberta right now. Okay, thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the concert.
Well, thank you, Mandy. That was great. So moving along, our first musical artist today is going to be Leela Gilday. She's sent a video. So let me just set that up and share it for everyone.
Danete, my name is Leela Gilday, and I'm coming to you from Yellowknive's Treaty 8 Dene Territory up here in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. I'd like to play a couple songs to lend my support to protect Alberta's Rockies and headwaters Christine Berger reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in supporting a group that, to me, is protecting some of the most precious resources that we have. So it was easy for me to say yes, and I'm happy to lend my voice to the chorus of support. This song I'd like to share was actually written. The inspiration for it was the protests at Standing Rock, and it's dedicated to our water protectors. So I guess in a way, it's dedicated to you. There's a rolling thunder in the sky, coming on, yeah, yeah, drawing nigh. You can feel it crackle at the base of your spine. Hear them ring, yeah, yeah. War cries. It's the sound of the people. People rising, rising up, rising up. It's the sound of the people. Can hear them gathering from across the land. People of the horses, people of the plains, people from the desert, and the ones from the sea, branches from tree. Hear the sound of the people. People rising, rising up, rising up. Yeah, yeah. The nations assemble to stand with the earth, to guard her big waters, honor her now. Trees and balance stand at the point where we can choose money or we can choose life. We can choose money or we can choose life. We can choose money or we can choose the sound of the people. Choose life. We can choose money or we can choose life. We can choose money or we can choose the sound of the people. Masi Cho, thank you so much. I'd like to share one more song. And this is really just a prayer for peace. I think it's really important to recognize that violence perpetuated on the earth is the same as violence perpetuated on its people. And extractive relationships with our earth, with our Mother Earth, need to be changed, and they need to come to an end in a way that where we can all move into an economy and a life that lives in balance with the earth. And this is the main thing this is one of the main roles as Indigenous people. We're often take on the role of guardians and protectors of the earth, because we recognize that important balance of living and appreciating the gifts, that the privilege it is to walk upon our earth. So this song, well, it's a prayer for peace, I think is very much related to treating our mother kindly as well. Cut my hair, shaved my legs, put my best dress on and gave out all the rest. 'Cause I am ready for peace when it comes. I face the sky every day, thank God for my good health and pray to keep my family safe, so they are ready for peace when it comes. I move the mountain in my heart, I sound the river from the start. I do all I can for my fellow man in my small way. So I am ready, and peace, you can come. Well, I'm so tired of feeling sick, watching children having nightmares of the horror they have lived. But they are ready, and peace, you should come. We rape the earth, then tell her smile, act as though her riches are our right to plunder and defile. She is ready, and peace, you should come. All the people on earth, so much suffering, let us love each other and hear our mother sing. Cut my hair, shaved my legs, put my best dress on and gave out all the rest. So I am ready for peace when it comes. I move the mountain in my heart, I swam the river from the start. I do all I can for my fellow men in my small way. So I'm ready, and peace, yes, I am ready, and peace, we are ready, and peace, you can come. Masi Cho, thank you so much.
Thank you, Leela. That was beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought we should get her brother to play too. So our next guest is Bobby Dove. Are you ready, Bobby Dove? Where are you? Yes, there she is. He is. Here we go. You gotta unmute.
There you are.
There you are.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you too. Thank you both.
Thanks for being here.
And thanks to Christine Berger for asking me to be part of this as well. And I love Leela's music. The songs are really powerful. The words are really powerful. And I too stand against these open pit coal mines, and for so many reasons that I've heard many people discussing and writing about lately. So for all the people, for all the Indigenous people and wildlife and water and everyone and everything that is so connected. Anyway, so I'll play some songs, and this one is called Haunted Hotel. It's off my new album, and it actually takes place in Alberta. So here it goes. Please help me, I can't help it. We're together again in this room. Drunk at the piano in the back of the Last Chance Saloon. Escaping the fires that never could burn us, it's true. right, that was Haunted Hotel for you, and I guess I'll go into the next song. This one is called Golden Ears, also from my new album. How am I supposed to survive these raw and exposed veins? How am I to carry on if I can't numb the pain? I've come so far with blinders on, just kept moving ahead. Never stopped to turn around, or I might be caught dead. On the track of hobo rails and drunken balladeers, scared to win, afraid to fail, arrested by my fears. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll rise above these tears. Maybe if I stick around for the golden years. Folks are pairing off and having kids I'll never meet. Their babies are all prodigies with tiny twinkle feet. They learn to love and laugh so well at that tender age. Why is it their joyful smiles just set me in a rage? On the track of hobo rails and drunken balladeers, scared to win, afraid to fail, arrested by my fears. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll rise above these tears. Maybe if I make it to my golden years. Picture us out on a farm with doggies by the dozen, hair all gray, but we're okay with that gentle kind of loving. We'll live off the land and go to meet draws at the Legion Hall. And if I'm misbehaving, you can set me in a stall. I'll dream of tracks and hobo rails and drunken balladeers, when I was scared to win, afraid to fail, arrested by my fears. If I keep on swimming through this tidal wave of tears, maybe then I'll make it to my golden years. Maybe then we can be friends in our golden years. All right, that was called Golden Years from my new album, Hopeless Romantic. And I don't know, am I playing one more song here, Jeremy and friends?
Yeah. Yep. I think you are. Yep.
Alrighty then.
We're liking what we're hearing.
Me and Jeremy and I had a funny sound check the other night, and I'd had a bit to drink and I couldn't stop talking.
You're a good storyteller. I hope you'll tour again, and then we can come hear your stories.
Thank you so much. Well, I hope I tour again too. Thank you, and I'd love to check out your house venue. I think the future of touring is going to be interesting, but I won't go into that line of thought. So this song is called Thunder Child. It's from my 2016 record, also called Thunder Child. And here it goes. At the sun, took a breath of the city, knew she was done. The highway's so open, but the exits are closed. Taking this here country road. Thunder child, listen to the song in the sky. Love is a cloud in your eye. Everything changes and everything dies. There's no silver lining, just gotta cry. Child quietly came to me. She said, there ain't nothing here in this land. She cried 5 times and disappeared in the sand. Thunder child, listen to the song of the sky. Life and love is a cloud in your eye. Everything changes and everything dies. There's no silver lining, just gotta cry. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're good, Bobby Dove. That was
Gracias.
good.
That was amazing. Yeah.
It'd be great to have you in a hot concert here. So let's stay connected.
Appreciate it.
All right. And with that, we'll move to our next presentation by David Mahood. He sent in a video, and here it is.
They never defile a river with the secretions of their bodies, nor even wash their hands in one. nor will they allow others to do so, as they have a great reverence for rivers. These are the words of Herodotus, writing about the Persians around 430 BCE. The Persians, in what is present-day Iran, lived in what is largely a semi-arid to arid land. They revered rivers for the very good reason that they depended heavily on their waters. Thank you, Nihitsatapi water protectors, for the privilege of speaking to you. I'm touched by your generosity. I'm just a workaday water scientist. Over half a century, I've attempted to understand how inland waters in Western Canada work. I've attempted to use what I've learned to protect rivers, streams, lakes, springs, groundwaters, and wetlands, and the things that live in them. I must tell you in all honesty that in this, the protecting part, I've been a resounding failure, with the results that now engage you. Had I been successful, there would be no surface coal mines, and you would not have to fight them. Let me give you my simple message now. This message contains within it the only rational solution to the problem it poses. For inland waters, there is no adequate, reliable, long-term protection from the effects of surface mines. Why do I say that? Well, we know a great deal about how surface mines affect water. We know this from decades of scientific research and from bitter experience with surface mining within Alberta and in many other places around the world. Removing the overburden and the ore from tens to hundreds of square kilometers of land surface, storing the overburden elsewhere, and washing and shipping the ore out of the watershed has many damaging effects. Here are a few of the largest ones that I outlined in my testimony at the Grassy Mountain hearing recently. You may find support for these statements in my report to the Joint Review Panel for that hearing. Surface mining profoundly transforms the topography and the geomorphology of watersheds. That's not surprising, really. Mining basically picks it all up and hauls it away. Surface mining removes forests and destroys forest soils. It uses and changes vast amounts of surface and groundwater, increasing stream flows in some channels and decreasing it in others. It destroys water quality. It increases erosion. It fills streams and rivers with fine and coarse sediments as a result. It transforms stream networks and the shapes of stream channels. It damages the biological communities of the streams draining the mined watersheds. If there were a reliable long-term solution to these many problems of surface mines, they wouldn't be problems. They are major problems, and they're major problems precisely because there are no adequate technical solutions. So what can we do? There's an obvious, absurdly simple solution for us. Don't build mines. It's useless to expect the governments of Alberta or Canada to stop the mines. The government of Alberta has lied to us over and over again. It negotiated with foreign and Canadian corporations behind our backs to all but give away our resources, to destroy our mountains and our waters without our knowledge, our input, or our consent. The Alberta government is a conspirator with these corporations. It doesn't in any way represent our interests. The government of Canada, too, has colluded with Alberta and the mining corporations. It subverted the Species at Risk Act's powerful prohibitions against destroying any part of critical habitat for 2 at-risk trout species. Many populations of these already threatened fish will be completely wiped out by surface mining in the Rockies. All of this has been done to provide Canada's fisheries minister with a fig leaf to issue permits for what is explicitly illegal and allow these mines to go ahead. The Government of Canada, too, represents the international mining corporations, not the people of Canada. And so we're on our own. We must creatively interfere, block, harass, subvert, annoy, hassle, sue again, and generally get in the way of the corporations and governments that are essentially destroying our right to live in southern Alberta by destroying our water supply. Our Rocky Mountains in southern Alberta already produce a resource of immense value: water. The Rockies capture water from the sky. They store it, and they release it downstream to us out in the foothills and on the dry plains. Out here, where the great majority of us reside, we can't live without that water, and so we can't do without the mountains. And the mountains do it all for free. All we have to do is leave them alone. Who but fools or rascals would destroy such a critically necessary asset? Who but fools or rascals would destroy such a critically necessary asset?
Who but fools?
I feel like a moment of silence after that.
Yeah, that's some pretty heavy stuff.
So here we are.
We gotta keep on keeping on and do what we can to oppose these mines. There's so many reasons for them not to go ahead, and very few reasons for them to go ahead. So please make your displeasure known to those in positions to affect this. Jonathan Wilkinson, the Environment Minister for Canada, Sonny Savage, fill out the coal survey, reject the premise that there's any reason to allow coal mining in southern Alberta, in the Rockies, and the headwaters. There isn't. We all know that.
We'll put a link to the provincial government survey in the chat.
In the chat. With that said, Dana Wiley, over to you on that light note.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Well, I'm okay. I'm quite moved. I'm quite
yeah.
by that. Yeah. So I mean, it makes me very grateful that this work is being done, that these ongoing advocacy efforts are happening. You know, on behalf of, you know, all of us, someone like me who I'm a mom, and, you know, I'm worried about the curriculum. You know, it's like we all have so much that we're worrying about right now, and it's so important that that we have these key groups and key people who are carrying you know, each of these important issues right now. And yeah, I'm really moved by what David just said, and moved by the fact that this is happening, and really grateful that I can play a small part in it. So yeah, I'm gonna play a couple of songs. Speaking of that small part, I'm gonna start off with a song of mine that I just find it brings me a lot of solace when I sing it. It helps me find peace amongst the mess, and it's called Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen. Hallelujah. Fell in love with a madman, and he cured me of my madness. Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. Now I'm a doer of my joy and a knower of my sadness. Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. And if a mad negotiation is bound to go wrong, hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. There is a grand negotiation that's been rolling all along. Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. got the hell out of town. And I'm still lying in the bed where all the shit went down. What's it to you, Leonard Cohen? What's it to you? And I've been busting myths till nothing more than scattered fact remains. Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. And it doesn't make me happy, but I think it keeps me sane. Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. And if a myth is just a story, and a story is a song, hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. I suppose it is a truth, I've been a believer all along. Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. And everybody else got wise and got themselves out of town. And I'm still sleeping in the bed where all the shit went down. What's it to you, Leonard Cohen? What's it to you? When I finally did get wise and I got myself out of town, the same negotiation was a going down. It was not new, Leonard Cohen, it was not new. And now the leaves blaze golden with the wisdom of death. Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. I am on my way out, but I ain't done yet. Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. Now I've been renting out the basement in the Tower of Song. Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. And 100 floors above me, I hear you singing along. Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Fell in love with a madman and he cured me of my madness. Okay, my cat just joined me. Maybe he might come on camera in a sec. For cat, are you gonna come on the camera for a little cameo? You can see his ear there. All right, I'm gonna play one more song for you. And yeah, just say thank you one more time to everyone who's doing this work on an ongoing basis. It's the most important thing. Oh gosh. What should I do for my second song? Yeah. So I have a song off a new album that's not quite released yet. It's going to be released sometime in the next couple of months. And you can pre-order it on my website right now. This is a song that's about being a mother and feeling like the work of mothers is often goes unnoticed and unappreciated, but it's also about our mother, the earth. It sounds like such a cliche to refer to Mother Earth, but it couldn't be more true. We all come from her collectively and individually. We all go back to her, and we take her for granted. Similarly, so this one gets a bit loud and sweary, but not any more sweary than the last one. So my son is sleeping upstairs. I'm gonna try not to wake him up, but if I do, that's life. That's life in these times, anyway. So this is called Break, Blow, Burn. let this house break, blow, burn. When I can't hold it anymore, I let it fall to the floor. And I stay put, and I break, blow, burn. But I got resilience growing inside me, filling me with something that I just can't contain. Sometimes I gotta break, blow, burn. You didn't see her keeping the world turning, making the bread, paying the bills. You only notice when she breaks, when she blows, when she burns. Your mother, she is made of water. Perhaps you've forgotten that you are too. And when the tide starts to pull and her cup it is full, you can bet she's gonna break, blow, burn. And I know you felt the eve of the labor, the revelatory violence that brought you to light. Now all you got are complaints about the break, blow, burn. She is a landscape with wheels under you turning, candy for your eye and canvas for your paint. Stop the car and listen to her hum. She is the wheel, she is the break, blow, burn. So get your shit together, children. Your mother wants her body back. Time to grow up, little children. Your mother wants her body back. Get your shit together, children. Your mother wants her body back. Time to grow up, little children. Your mother wants her body back. Get your shit together, children. Your mother wants her body back. I'm gonna stand right here, break, blow, burn. I'm gonna stand right here, break, blow, burn. I'm gonna stand right here. Thanks again for having me.
Oh, Dana Wiley, that was so good. Did you say that's on your that's coming up on a new album?
Yep.
That song?
Yep.
Well, we look forward to that.
We posted a link to your website in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I miss hearing your voice and your great songwriting. So that was a real treat. Thanks for playing.
Oh, thanks for hosting.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Okay, we have a band from the Toronto area. Maybe you've heard of them, the Sadies. They have put together a little something for us. Find it. Oh, where are you, Sadie? Uh-oh. We go up here. We go. Where are you, Sadie? Where are you, Sadie? Oh, this stuff's in the way.
Maybe see if Colton's here.
Well, he is, but here we go. Here we go. It's Dropbox is holding this hostage. They want money to get it out, but we're just gonna play it here like this. All right, that was the Sadies with Rat Creek, filmed at the Horseshoe in Toronto. Not really recently, because that's not allowed. That was a little while ago that they recorded that and sent it to us. And their management says the guys are very happy to lend their voices to this great cause and to participate in the show. And we thank them for that. Every little bit helps. As you heard from David Mayhood, we're up against a fairly steep hill, but together we can pull together and win. With that, let's move on to another presentation. We had him at the last show with a very informative presentation, and he's back again. Colton Vasey.
Yeah, hi, good evening, can you hear me?
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
There we go. There you are. There you go. All yours.
Could you enable screen sharing, please?
Oh, I did that again. I did that to you last week, didn't I?
No worries.
Okay, there we go.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Good evening, and thanks to the organizers for having me out again. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the last talk I gave. So let me first start off by giving my own land acknowledgement. So I'm coming to you from Edmonton, Alberta, on Treaty 6 territory, home to First Nations and Métis groups and peoples. So I'm a PhD student from the University of Alberta in the Earth and Atmospheric Sciences Department. I specialize in a field called environmental geochemistry. I have a master's and bachelor's of science in geological sciences. So what that means, for just kind of quick, brief introduction, myself and colleagues, we like to study how physical, biological, chemical, and geological systems interact in natural and mining environments. And we're usually particularly interested in mining environments because they offer very unique systems and also present a lot of contamination issues, which has further reaching human health impacts and ecosystem impacts. So last week I talked about acid mine drainage, or sorry, just mine drainage in general, neutral mine drainage, and kind of what we expect to see here in the Rocky Mountains if these mines do go through, and what Teck Resources is seeing over in the Elk Valley. This time though, I thought I'd focus more on reclamation and closure strategies that coal mining companies like to use and that are being proposed for the future. So with that, so just a quick review. I talked about the two different main types of mine drainage: acid mine drainage, when you have a lot of weathering of sulfide minerals and it generates lots of acid and there's not a lot of buffering capacity, versus neutral mine drainage, where if you have lots of carbonate minerals such as dolomite, limestone, calcite, which we have quite an abundance of here in the Rocky Mountains, can actually buffer and remove acid, and then it becomes neutral mine drainage instead. And for reference, drinking water is usually between around pH 5 to 8, and those look very differently. As I talked about last time, you get very bright orange, yellow, vibrant colors with acid rock drainage, as compared to neutral mine drainage, which looks very natural. There's not a whole lot of color, and it looks very normal, except there is contamination still, depending on the site. So getting into it, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Grassy Mountain Coal Project. I won't go through a lot of the details here. Mostly I just want to focus on what reclamation systems they plan on using, such as saturated rock fills, which I talked about briefly last time as well, surge or sedimentation ponds, and end-pit lakes. And then also a bit about what details go into an environmental impact assessment, and what assumptions have to be made in order to actually put these forward. So first off, the life of a mine, it's really important to consider because in my field, we have to consider all possible types of contamination or waste materials generated. So it starts off with getting leases from the government or the Alberta or the energy regulator. And then it moves into exploration, where you have mapping, drilling, collecting samples, and then you do resource estimations and feasibility. If it seems economic or viable, they usually move forward, and they reach out to consulting companies, environmental consultants, technical consultants, to begin putting together an environmental impact assessment. They have to do baseline studies on the water and the ecosystems overall. And then once they move to the environmental impact assessment and joint review panels at the provincial and federal levels, then if it's passed there, they move into breaking ground. And that starts off with removing the vegetation and also the topsoil. Oftentimes, though, mining companies will maintain and keep the topsoil and store it on site so that it can be reused in the reclamation process. Then they remove the rest of the overburden, which traditionally was pushed into large waste rock dumps and in valley fills, kind of in the diagram in the middle. And then they can get it to coal and get it to market. But then comes closure, and there has to be a lot of consideration into what goes into closing a mine site to limit contamination and leaching of any possible contaminants. So last figure is quite flat, and as many of you know, being in the Rocky Mountains in Alberta, I've been talking about now as well. The top right is from Tech Resources, where you get sulfide oxidation such as pyrite due to moving all this overburden, enhancing weathering through water and air, and allowing release of iron, contaminants, sulfate, and acid, and acid can be buffered in place if there's sufficient amount of carbonate minerals present. But how do we limit this before it even happens? I think that's a big push in the industry right now, and consultants are really trying to push this forward as well. So saturated rock fills seem to be a good start. It's a relatively new technology within the last 5 to 10 years that Tech's really been working on for their systems in particular with selenium and nitrate contamination. Essentially what it is you have your open pit and you backfill it with waste rock material, and then you partially saturate it with contaminant water and add in a carbon source such as methanol to stimulate microbial growth, which can then remove selenium and nitrate fairly efficiently. However, they did do long-term predictions into the future for some of their sites, and it does seem like there might still be water quality issues in the future, but it is a start, and this type of method will help limit contamination. But there are also other considerations, such as how do you best decommission a site like this and return it back to the natural landscape, which hasn't really been shown because it's so new. There's very few peer-reviewed studies on it, and that's still one of the big questions. And there's also been lots of literature looking at how open pit mines change the local geology. And this is really important because it also plays into how groundwater is impacted and where it flows and how much flows there. Studies have found that with open pit mines, you can get increased base flow, which is the groundwater that feeds streams yearly, and it does vary seasonally as well. But increased base flow from these sites could be detrimental. It could cause increased mobility of contaminants, so that's something mines want to limit. The other closure plan is N-Pit Lake. So N-Pit Lake, as some of you may have seen or might be familiar with, is they store contaminated water in an open pit or decommissioned pit. Example on the bottom from Cardinal River here in Alberta. And they're usually quite deep, right? They're usually as deep as the pit and can be in excess of 100 meters. And another type as well, which are smaller, are storage or sedimentation ponds. I believe Grassy Mountain Coal Project is using surge ponds to store treated water, and sedimentation ponds to store more contaminated water that has a higher silt or a finer clay components as well. And that's really important to consider. And at the bottom, I highlight storing waste and chemicals at the bottom of these pits and sedimentation ponds. They are very depth dependent, as I show here. So oftentimes companies will store different types of waste material at the bottom of N-pit lakes or storage ponds to help limit oxidation and mobility of contaminants. And there's a lot of details that goes into that, and it's not an easy process. And it does require lots of studies and understanding of the hydrology and also the chemistry. And another thing too is it's important to consider, which isn't shown on the figure, is where does the groundwater go and how fast does the groundwater seep into the local ecosystem? And that's really important to consider because oftentimes that's where the contaminants are, and they have to remain at the bottom of those lakes or in the saturated rock fills for very long extended periods of time. So really the companies want to limit groundwater flow typically depending on the site. One way that they do that is by regenerating the topsoil or progressive reclamation. They add topsoil and then hopefully they revegetate it very quickly. And they need to redevelop the organic carbon within those soil components. But this can take a very long time as well, take up to decades. So there's also many considerations that have to go into that I won't go into. Another method is also what are called impermeable liners. So a liner is really, it's a clay-rich layer, and it's usually quite thin. It's usually between 0.5 meter up to 3 meters. And it does two things. It helps reduce groundwater movement or water percolation and infiltration. And it can also remove contaminants through different processes. Going through the Benga Mining Limited's addendums and reports that are freely available online, they say that liners are considered technically and economically unfeasible for the Grassy Mountain Coal Project, which is a little unfortunate because I think it would greatly help any infiltration and unwanted leaching of contaminants. As shown on the bottom figure there, there's many different processes and reactions that have to be considered in tandem in order to actually move to full-scale reclamation and limit leaching of contaminants. And I guess back to the Grassy Mountain Coal Project really briefly. So they budgeted around $60 million for their reclamation and remediation plans. $20 million of that is for operating costs into the future, mostly to operate pumps and wells and keeping the contaminated water on site before it's released back into the ecosystem, once it's been hopefully removed of any contaminants. There are some issues, as people have pointed out, with their environmental impact assessment, and it's gone through many, many addendums. One of the things that I kind of found was that they assumed 99% selenium removal efficiency, which is typically kind of on the high side and might be, it's usually safer to be on the lower side, and Teck really only sees up to 95% removal efficiency with their systems, and they actually have their full-scale pilots in progress. And on the bottom is actually a figure from one of their geochemistry reports done by the consultants for Benga Mining Limited. It's selenium concentrations on the y-axis on the left versus time. And it's the selenium concentration in Blairmore Creek for varying capture efficiencies. And the capture efficiency in blue is 80%, red is 95%, and green is 100%. And the red line there is the water quality guideline for Alberta. It's 2 parts per billion. So even at 100% removal efficiency, we're still slightly above the water quality guideline for selenium. And there's a big difference between 100% and 95%. It's about 3 parts per billion difference, which can be substantial over time. And there's also other assumptions going behind these calculations that are difficult to quantify, such as the amount of water that has to be captured and stored on site. They assume around 98% capture of all water that will come in contact with any waste rock or other possible contaminated materials. So it's not easy to estimate these things, and it takes a long time to figure this out and to come up with a successful closure strategy. So really, my take-home messages are we have to consider and think about mining environments as a whole from start to finish. So even before they begin breaking ground, you have to consider the baseline studies and characteristics of those creeks. And then all the way down to the closure plan and how to actually integrate that back into the natural ecosystem. Reclamation is really expensive. So I mentioned that there was $60 million that they budgeted. It's difficult to say whether this is really on the low side because the Alberta Energy Regulator allows for companies to self-report the reclamation costs, which isn't really, in my opinion, the best solution. I think there should be more background in that, but at the same time, it's also difficult to assess each site because they are very different and often at times have their own issues. But how do we best decommission and close mining landscapes, particularly the coal mining landscapes here in Canada? Teck Resources is the biggest one, and they're the farthest along with actually progressing their closure strategies. But how will these impact groundwater flow in the long term? And then how will this impact communities and trout or wildlife in general downstream? There's many considerations that have to go into this. And with that, I'll end off how I did last time. Just kind of give a shout out to earth sciences, environmental sciences in general. If you like being outdoors, like traveling to unique places, are passionate about the environment and want to help in various ways, if you're at the point where you want to start your studies or a career, I would encourage you to maybe consider environmental sciences or earth sciences. But if you're past that stage of your life and you already have a career and you're busy enough as is, well, there's always opportunities to volunteer or become a citizen scientist. Lots of research groups or non-government organizations need help, and oftentimes will ask citizens to do water sampling or different types of sampling for them. So yeah, and if there's any questions for me, I'll try and you can put them in the chat and I'll try to get to them this evening as well. Or feel free to reach out to me by email at the bottom there. Always happy to talk and chat about mining, reclamation, or anything related. And with that, I'd like to end my presentation. So thank you.
Well, thank you. That was great again.
Thanks.
Yeah, very super informative.
Colton, have you participated in government panels?
No, I haven't.
You've been following the Grassy Mountain activity, so from the sounds of it.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty familiar with their reports and everything they've done so far. So
for people listening who don't know about Grassy Mountain, can you say a few things about where it's at in the process, whether it's in its approval process?
Final stages.
yeah, so the Grassy Mountain Coal Project, if you're not familiar, it's just in the Crowsnest Pass, north of Blairmore, in Category 4 land technically, because it's a historic mining site. There were underground operations and coking collieries there in abandoned mine called Lil. You can actually used to be able to go hike there. I grew up in southern Alberta, so I used to go walk around there all the time and look at the collieries. It's quite a neat little historic park. And so the proposed project is currently at the federal level review panel, and I believe they'll be coming out with their decision in June, I believe. So I think that's where it's at.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. All right, let's get on with a little bit more music, shall we? From a favorite of the Grosvenor. They've stayed at the Grosvenor. They've actually kind of played at the Grosvenor after a show at what was that little place on Stony Plain Road? Whatever. They played a show a couple blocks away, and then they came and stayed. And one of my kids pulled out his bass and started playing bass lines, and they started rapping together. It was great. It was really good. Should have been there, but not many people were. But that's the Burning Hell. Where'd you go? Burning Hell, Burning Hell, Burning Hell. Sadie. Hopefully. Jenny. Look at this one.
Hi, folks. My name's Jenny Allen.
No. That's the wrong one.
We're supposed to work on better banter while you're looking for videos.
Yes, we are. Well, this one is
You're too distracted for
Yeah.
banter. It would be up to me. I need to work on my banter while you're looking for videos.
Here we go.
Hi, everybody.
This is them.
This is Ariel and Matthias from the Burning Hell, and we're out here in Newfoundland, and we are very upset to hear that the Alberta government is considering open pit coal mining on the eastern slopes of the Rockies. I wasn't aware that open pit coal mining was under discussion anymore in 2021, but I guess so. In any case, we're happy to do whatever we can to support the cause. We're going to play a few songs, none of which are specifically about open pit coal mining, but perhaps they allude to the general political milieu in which we all find ourselves right now. I don't know. This song is about automation.
Familiar songs.
Yeah, it's good. This song is about automation and labor politics, and it's from our most recent album, Never Work, and it goes like this. The year was 2020, and the humans weren't doing too well. For instance, take the interesting case of Mrs. Anjuli Patel. She worked at the Easy Day supermarket, which gave her no special enjoyment. It was not a good job, but it was a job, and she was grateful to have the employment. It was a Wednesday, but to Mrs. Patel, it was a work day just like any other. She was preoccupied thinking of how she felt guilty about not spending time with her mother. When she arrived at her workplace, she stopped at the sight of something that glittered and gleamed. In place of her usual register was a shining self-checkout machine. Out of her normally well-mannered mouth came words like fucking and hell. And that was the start of the terrible tale of the robots versus Mrs. Patel. The robots versus Mrs. Patel. Her boss was a pencil mustache with a pulse. His eyes traveled south like Vasco da Gama. He leered and he jeered and he said with a sneer, Mrs. P, let's not have any drama. This is secure checkout, Autobot 1000, Scab 1000 if you prefer. You'll be training our customers to use it, dealing with problems that may occur. Well, Mrs. Patel thought of strangling him with a lanyard that held her ID card. But she needed the work even more since her husband lost his job as a security guard. She was spending her evenings in night school, learning coding and programming skills. One day soon enough, she thought to herself, I'll get off this wage slavery treadmill. So she opened Scab 1000's manual to page 1 and thought to herself, we'll see who will win in this battle I call the robots versus Mrs. Patel. The robots versus Mrs. Patel. Helping customers learn how to use machines with which they would soon be replaced was an irony from which Mrs. Patel and her colleagues found they just could not escape. Some plotted sabotage, some dreamed of union, but Mrs. Patel knew the truth. When robots and bosses find common causes, there's nothing poor workers can do. Or that's what she thought until one fateful evening in her late night advanced coding class, when she learned about strategies known to the nerds as adversarial attacks. So she coded a way to trick the machines to check out items that didn't exist, and to charge the fake shopping to a boss's account before he knew what he'd missed. So a little algorithm helped her bankrupt the system and the rest of the franchise as well. Another way you can say that the robots joined forces with the hero called Mrs. Patel. The hero called Mrs. Patel. Now she's revered as a binary Robin Hood throughout the subcontinent. The workers all dance in Capitol's ashes and sing of her accomplishments. And she and her team of rebellious machines are redistributing the wealth. All you bosses and bankers had better be aware of the robots and Mrs. Patel. The robots and Mrs. Patel. That was the robots and Mrs. Patel. Maybe we should play a really old one.
Yeah. Okay. As long as it's part of the milieu.
It's. You guys just gonna keep making fun of me? Oh, whoa!
Sorry.
This is the special effects part of our segment. This is a good sing along for all of you who want to sing along on the internet. Love, it's like a hurricane. It happens in Florida, gets into everything. Love, it's like a marmoset. It may be small and cute. Sometimes it eats its young. Love, it's like a monster truck, fills up whole stadiums, but it crushes smaller trucks. Love, it's like a trailer park, ugly but functional. The rent is cheap enough. Love, it's like an interstate. It gets you from place to place, but it's littered with dead raccoons. Love, it's like a newborn child, interesting when it's young, gets pedestrian after a while. Love, it's like a hurricane. It happens in Florida, and it destroys everything. Love, that's Ariel Sherritt on the keyboard. We'll play one more song. This is the only song that has anything to do with governments that we have, I think. But it's a song about how we first met. But maybe the chorus is meaningful in this particular situation. We met at the New Year's party of my vegetarian friend.
I said I was studying English.
I told you I was in a band.
I asked what the band was called.
I said it's called The Burning Hell.
I said I'd never heard of you.
I said that's probably just as well. Just to make conversation, I told you about a dream I had in which Jean Baudrillard was rapping the Public Enemy, shouting, "Don't believe the hype are real," with Flava Flav and Chuck D.
And I said I think we might have a lot in common then, possibly, because I'm also a musician and also a student of hip-hop philosophy.
You mentioned you used to play the bass clarinet in high school in the early years of the millennium when you were young.
And you said you're hired, the pay's negligible, and the tour starts next month.
You asked what I was working on and said I'm writing an album of love
I
songs.
laughed and said love songs are dumb.
And I said, oh yeah? Wait till you hear these ones.
pass the wine, fuck the government, I love you. 3 statements overheard at once in the crowded room. But I could not be sure which one had come from you. So I passed you the wine and said, yes, fuck the government, I love you too.
Take it, Ariel.
Though neither of us accomplished dancers, we danced a little bit.
My vegetarian friend was playing the hits of Will Smith, and we got jiggy with it there on the dance
The living
floor.
room dance floor,
That's where it happened. You stole my heart.
I stole a kiss.
We stole someone else's gin by accident. At some point we got cornered by an amateur poet neither of us knew.
Either he had no one else to talk to or could pick up on simple social cues.
Step by step we backed up until we backed up all the way into the bathroom together. We told the poet that we always go together, 'cause that's what happens when you've been dating forever. We stayed in there for ages hoping the amateur poet would go. It was awkward. We came out and found he discovered someone else to bother, and suddenly it was midnight and old lang syne time countdowns. Gratuitous public making out, and we started shouting 'cause everyone else was shouting. And isn't it fun to shout? Pass the wine, fuck the government, I love you.
3 statements overheard at once in the crowded room.
But I could not be sure which one had come from you. So I passed you the wine and said, yes, fuck the government, I love you too. Pass the wine, fuck the government, I love you.
3 statements overheard at once in the crowded room.
But I could not be sure which one had come from you. So I passed you the wine and said, yes, fuck the government, I love you too. Thank you for listening. Good luck with the struggle.
Yeah.
Solidarity.
Solidarity from over here this way.
Thank you, Matthias and Ariel. That was great, as always.
Feels good to get support from across Canada.
It does.
Bobby Dove was coming from Toronto.
Manitoba, I think. Manitoba. Yeah. Sadie's are Toronto. So we had another Toronto, Hamilton artist, Tom Wilson, and we're having difficulties accessing the video. So we're going to have to push that one to another show. We've got it. We just can't play it right now. But we still have some music for you. Coming back home to Alberta, we have the Love Bullies from Calgary. And we're going to recycle a little video. They did some work for Block Heater in Calgary in February. And the way that COVID's going right now, they didn't feel comfortable getting together to play again, which we completely support. Yeah, there's no reason for anybody to get sick doing this. So we're going to play their video from Block Heater, which is fantastic anyway.
The Block Heater Festival in Calgary.
Yes,
you
Block
should
Heater.
say.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Hi, folks. My
No.
name's Jenny Allen,
That's the wrong video.
and we are on.
All right. There we go. This is the right one.
Shame that I'll miss your mama, making a fool of you. Too bad for you, your papa. Don't care what your mama do. I feel like I woke inside someone is a fire burning up my soul. I'm falling from a wire to a certainty below. So if you're trying to reach me in the next few years, address your letters, Lonelyville, anywhere but here. By my calculations and by all accounts, you've done something irreversible, irreversible. So cool, you had to put on a sweater. Someone caught, now turned to naught, with a switch of a letter. Sayonara, baby. Me unnecessary. The burden of your love, or should I say drug, is too much for this one mule to carry. Sayonara, baby. You left, I was crazed and confused, but I am no empty jar, won't be reduced and reused. Sayonara, baby. Be my little horsey till the cows come home. Be my little horsey till the cows come home. Flippy flop. I'm gonna ring, rung, rang. I'm gonna wicky wacky ticky tacky woo ooh ooh. I'm gonna swing, swing, swing. I'm gonna flutter, flutter, fly. I'm gonna cha-cha-ching, cha-cha-ching. I'm gonna woo, wobble, woo, woo, choo, choo, choo. I'm gonna swing, swing, swing. I'm gonna ride along, cowboy, pretty little roan. Beat my little horsey till the cows come home. Beat my little horsey till the cows come home. I'm gonna rah, rah, rah. I'm gonna bada bing, bada bang. I'm gonna oop diddy oop like a hula hoop. I'm gonna swing, swing, swing. I'm gonna la 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 la. I'm gonna bim, bam, bang. I'm gonna oh daddy, oh oh oh. I'm gonna swing, swing, swing. I'm gonna ride along, cowboy, pretty little roan. Be my little horsey till the cows come home. Be my little horsey till the cows come home. Thank you, everybody, for the love bullies. That was so fun!
Hopefully that didn't make you miss live music too much.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. I can't wait until we get to see bands again. Even if it was been Halloween or the last time we saw one.
Let us not speak of such things.
Okay.
You have an announcement though. There's
yes.
something happening on Monday that people can tune into.
Yeah. So we have Mandy Osgard, who spoke, Colton Vesey, and another fellow, Brad Stelfox. They'll be on Ryan Real Talk with Ryan Jesperson at 8:40 on Monday morning. If you want to tune into that, he's been on top of this coal thing quite a little bit. He's how we heard about Craig Snodgrass in the first place.
Mayor Snodgrass from High River.
Yeah, that was such a good interview. So hilarious. And that came on the heels of Robin Campbell saying that selenium's, just salt, nothing to worry about, kill you, but it's just salt. Anyways, that's Monday morning, 8:40 a.m. Real Talk with Ryan Jesperson, and I'm sure you can catch it online at any time after that. I just wanted to mention again the coalsnotcool.ca or coalsnotcool.com. There's a petition you can sign, and please sign it. Get 2 other people to sign it with you, and get them to do the same. And if that happened, we could get a lot of signatures really quick. I'm gonna take this opportunity right now to thank a bunch of people. The crew that puts together the concerts for us, it's me and Wendy at the Grosvenor, also Christine Berger, Marie Aiken, and Brian Taylor are instrumental. We wouldn't be able to do it without them. Then I want to thank Laura Lang and the Pikisco group for all that they're doing to oppose the coal mining, and we support that fully. Thank you to Mandy Olsgaard, for Bobby Dove, David Mahood, Dana Wiley, the Sadies, Colton Vesey, the Burning Hell, the Love Bullies, and that's last but not least to Jenny Allen and Peter Laughlin, who will be up next. Also to Tom Wilson, even though we didn't get your video on today, we have it and we will get it on one of the shows. We'll work out the technical details. And thank you to everybody in the audience for watching and participating.
Yes.
All right. With that, let's get to our final video of the evening. They've been really eager to go. They've tried to start twice already. And it's Jenny Allen and Peter Laughlin. And now they're probably not going to be in the lineup because I closed it. Of course I did. Of course I did. But I can find it. Oh, can I? Just a second. All right. All right. All right. 1 second. Yeah, I screwed it up by starting it early. And here we go.
Hi, folks. My name's Jenny Allen.
I'm Pete Laughlin.
And we are honored to be supporting the Protect Alberta's Rockies and Headwaters concert series here today. And this song is about living in Alberta. Here's a little song called Blanket.
The search is poor.
Oh, I miss the traffic. I miss my car.
If you do that, you can.
Oh, I miss knowing exactly where you are. Oh, I miss my pastimes, my regrets, all the places I haven't been to.
One way
yet.
easier to remember.
folks surrounding, sitting in my backyard in my wooden chair. Mr. Very nice, the eerie northern lights, the breath of my own life hanging in the air. Whoa, whoa.
Very nice.
Very nice, Peter.
So, protecting the Alberta's Rockies headwaters. This is, I'm a terrible activist by nature. I'm too emotional and I say things that I probably shouldn't. But this one actually kind of hits home. This is a an area where one of my best friends and I go fishing an awful lot, and I really respect the area. So this means an awful lot, aside from all the the environmental impacts for farmers and all that type of stuff. This sort of hits home. So,
Not to mention people's drinking water.
well, yeah, I mean, there's obviously all the important things, but this one, on a personal level, it's about fishing. So and,
Yeah. It's
so
all
call,
about the fish.
Call me selfish. Sorry.
Selfish?
Oh, no, don't do that.
Okay.
All right.
Well, in honor of your
Fishing. Yeah.
Peter, we're going to play a song called
I'm gonna
Bigger
drink wine.
Fish. Yeah. That's right. You're allowed.
That's lovely. This is. Oh, I have to figure out where I'm playing on this one now. Thanks, Jen.
Hey, no problem.
Okay, here we are.
Thanks, coming you live all the way from Tuscany, Alberta. Hooray!
Yay, Tuscany! Well, once again, we can't stress how important this is to us as a community and as a provincially and really worldwide. If we can support something like this on a local level, it just crosses borders. And
Every voice counts.
yeah, every voice counts. So
I think that's fair.
we're gonna do one more song for you. Once again, thank you so much, and we're hoping you're enjoying the music today. And this is a song about Mexico. just cause we can. But really, this is actually a song about recognizing that you're the one that affects change, and it all starts at home, right?
Okay, there we go.
I have a room with a door, and today is what I'm thankful for. With a table by the bed and a pillow in my weary head. And tomorrow I'll wake up knowing I'm the only one who can fill that empty cup. I know I'm the only one, and there's a window, a view of the main street and its canine grid. On a bench made from a log, some handmade drinks and one night dog. And tomorrow I'll wake up knowing I'm the only one who can fill that empty cup. I know I'm the only one. La 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 It might be lonely for a bit, but it's better this way when I think on it. 'Cause there's a good friend in the chair waiting for me at the top of the stairs. And tomorrow I'll wake up knowing I'm the only one who can fill that empty cup. I know I'm the only one. The only one.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks for letting us be part of this.
It's our honor.
Yay!
Yay!
All right. Oh, don't touch me.
Oh, right.
That was great. I love that little bit at the end. Don't touch.
These shows have been a great sampler for bands that we'd like to hear again. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
that's a good spin-off from this.
Such a good source of music. We've had so many people tell us that they've been introduced to new artists by watching the shows. And that's great to hear.
Yeah, so please, if you, anything that you liked tonight, please go to the artist websites and support them. You can often purchase their music online on places like Bandcamp. You can buy good t-shirts often. Sometimes you get hot sauce with your music download. Check them out. It's good.
Do everything you can to support them, because it's going to take a little while before that industry is allowed to come back.
And we miss them
Dearly.
Yes.
Dearly.
All right, well, that's the end of the show. Any last announcements, Jeremy?
Not really. I think one more push for coalsnotcool.ca or coalsnotcool.com. That's with an S in between coal and not, coalsnotcool.com. Sign it, get 2 friends to sign it, and they'll get 2 friends to sign it, and so on and so on, like the hair products commercials from the 70s.
You can support the GoFundMe that we've posted links to.
That's correct, yes. Yeah, just one quick little note. I haven't done the full math yet, but I think the total for the 5 concerts so far, we're getting close. We haven't quite broken 10,000 to the GoFundMes, but we're getting very close. We're over 9,000 for sure. 9,300 and change, maybe. Yeah, so we're every little bit makes a difference, and every little bit makes a difference in opposing it and letting the people that know who are trying to do this that they won't succeed.
On that note, good
See
night,
you in
everyone.
2 weeks.